Over 80 million people in Iran today speak Persian, not Arabic, a language that, by all accounts, should be dead. When Arab armies conquered Persia in the 7th century, they erased ancient languages across the entire Middle East. Yet Persian not only survived, but became the language of emperors from the Balkans to Bengal. Picture what happened across the conquered territories. Egypt, North Africa, the Levant, all fell to Arab rule. Ancient languages declined with stunning speed. Coptic, Aramaic dialects, Berber variants, all replaced by Arabic. But Persia was different. Despite complete military defeat, despite centuries of Arab-Islamic rule, Persian didn't just survive, it flourished. Even stranger, Persian eventually became the prestigious lingua franca of Islamic empires, adopted by Turks, Mongols, and Indians who had never set foot in Iran. How did the language of a conquered people become the tongue of emperors? Why does Iran speak Persian when Egypt speaks Arabic? In this video, we'll explore one of history's most remarkable stories of cultural survival, a story of mountains and poets, bureaucrats and kings, geography and genius. This is the untold story of how Persian defied extinction. To understand Persian survival, we must travel back to before the conquest, to the Sassanian Empire, the last great Iranian civilization before Islam. From 224 to 651 CE, the Sassanians controlled vast territories from Mesopotamia to Central Asia, rivaling Rome and Byzantium in power and sophistication. Unlike many conquered peoples, Persians possessed something crucial: a deeply rooted sense of cultural identity stretching back over 1,000 years to the Achaemenid Empire of Cyrus the Great. The Sassanians had developed sophisticated bureaucratic systems. Professional scribes called dabirs formed the backbone of governance. They maintained detailed records in Middle Persian, managing taxation, correspondence, and provincial administration. This wasn't just any administrative class. These were experts whose skills had been refined over centuries, creating knowledge that couldn't be easily replaced. Archaeological evidence from Persepolis and Ctesiphon reveals the grandeur of their civilization, architecture, art, and literature that consciously connected to earlier Persian glory. Persians viewed themselves as bearers of an ancient, sophisticated civilization. This cultural pride would prove absolutely critical because it created something rare: the will to resist cultural erasure even after political defeat. In 636 CE, at the Battle of Al-Qadisiyah, Arab armies shattered Sassanian military power. By 651, the last Persian emperor, Yazdegerd III, lay dead in distant Merv. Politically, Persia was finished. But linguistically, something unexpected happened, or rather, didn't happen. The rapid Arabization seen elsewhere simply didn't occur in Iran, and geography played a silent but powerful role. The Iranian plateau is harsh terrain, high altitude, brutal winters, rugged mountains. Arab settlers found these conditions inhospitable compared to the fertile lowlands of Egypt or the Levant, which resembled their Arabian homeland. While Arabs settled extensively in Egypt and the Fertile Crescent, transforming local demographics, in Iran they largely remained confined to garrison cities like Kufa and Basra and the hot coastal strips along the Persian Gulf. The highlands remained demographically Persian. This wasn't conscious resistance, it was geographic determinism. But it bought time, crucial time, for Persian culture to regroup. Meanwhile, Iran's population was substantially larger than the Arab settler communities. Arabs became administrators and military overlords, but they were vastly outnumbered. In the countryside, in the mountain valleys, in the villages, Persian continued as the spoken vernacular. The language went underground, waiting. The breakthrough came in 750 CE with the Abbasid Revolution. The Umayyad Caliphate, which had favored Arab supremacy, fell to the Abbasids with crucial support from Persian Muslims, particularly from Khorasan in the east. Persian general Abu Muslim led the revolutionary army that changed everything. The new Abbasid caliphs moved the capital from Damascus to Baghdad, closer to Persian heartlands. More importantly, they reversed Umayyad discrimination, welcoming non-Arab Muslims into positions of power. Persian families like the Barmakids rose to become viziers, effectively running the empire. Suddenly, Persian bureaucrats weren't just tolerated, they were indispensable. The Abbasids created new administrative positions that Persian elites came to dominate. This administrative prominence created space for something revolutionary: cultural assertion. If Persians were running the empire, why shouldn't Persian language and culture matter too? The stage was set for an extraordinary renaissance. In the 9th century, something remarkable began in the distant eastern regions of the Islamic world. The Sassanian Empire, ruling from Bukhara in present-day Uzbekistan, made a radical decision. They would patronize literature in Persian, not just Arabic. The Sassanids were of Iranian descent, and they explicitly championed Persian identity. They declared their court the birthplace of new Persian literature, a transformed language that adapted to survive. New Persian adopted Arabic script with 4 additional letters for sounds that Arabic lacked. It incorporated Arabic vocabulary for religious and scientific concepts, but maintained Persian grammar and structure. The result was a language that could function in the Islamic world while remaining distinctly Persian. Poets like Rudaki, known as the father of Persian poetry, flourished at the Samanid court, establishing aesthetic standards for centuries to come. For the first time in 300 years, Persian was prestigious again, not just a peasant vernacular, but the language of high culture, of beauty, of power. But prestige alone wasn't enough. Persian needed a soul. Then came the masterpiece that would define Persian identity forever. Around 1010 CE, after 30 years of labor, the poet Ferdowsi completed the Shahnameh, the Book of Kings. Imagine writing 50,000 rhyming couplets in Persian, narrating Iranian history from the creation of the world to the Arab conquest. This wasn't entertainment. It was an act of cultural preservation disguised as epic poetry. In his own words, Ferdowsi declared his purpose: to revive Iranian glory through poetry and ensure the Persian language's survival. He deliberately chose Persian over Arabic, privileging Persian vocabulary wherever possible. The Shahnameh provided Iranians with a shared narrative of their pre-Islamic past. Mythical kings, legendary heroes like Rostam, the eternal struggle between good and evil, Iran and Turan. By making this heritage accessible in Persian, Ferdowsi democratized cultural memory. You didn't need to know ancient Pahlavi or scholarly Arabic. Ordinary Persians could access their history. A telling story illustrates the Shahnameh's significance. When asked why Egypt speaks Arabic while Iran speaks Persian, an Egyptian historian reportedly replied, "Because we didn't have Ferdowsi." While oversimplified, this captures a profound truth. Literary crystallization creates rallying points for linguistic identity. By the 11th century, something extraordinary was happening. Persian wasn't just surviving, it was conquering through prestige. When Turkic peoples like the Seljuks conquered Iran, they didn't impose their language. Instead, they adopted Persian for administration and culture. This pattern repeated with Mongols, Timurids, Safavids, Ottomans, and Mughals. Ottoman sultans wrote poetry in Persian. Mughal emperors conducted diplomacy in Persian. The language of the conquered became the language of conquerors, spreading from the Balkans to Bengal not through armies, but through cultural brilliance. Ancient Egypt possessed a civilization far older than Persia, 5,000 years of pharaonic glory. Yet today, Egyptians speak Arabic, and Coptic survives only in church liturgy. Why the difference? By the time Arabs arrived in 639 CE, Egypt had endured over a millennium of foreign rule: Persian, Greek, Roman, Byzantine. No native Egyptian dynasty had ruled for 1,000 years, weakening cultural institutions and confidence. Egypt had no Ferdowsi, no literary champion who crystallized Egyptian identity in an accessible national epic. Coptic texts remained confined to Christian religious contexts. In 706 CE, the Umayyad governor ordered complete replacement of Coptic with Arabic in all government functions, eliminating a crucial domain for the language. Geography also betrayed Egypt. The Nile Valley's climate resembled Arabia, so Arab tribes settled extensively. Unlike Iran's forbidding plateau, Egypt experienced demographic Arabization. By the 12th century, even the Coptic Pope permitted Arabic in church services. Coptic had retreated to near extinction. Turkey offers a third model, neither Persian nor Egyptian. When Seljuk Turks conquered Anatolia and built the Ottoman Empire, Ottoman Turkish became a hybrid, grammatically Turkish, but incorporating massive Arabic and Persian vocabulary. But Turkish had a crucial advantage Persians initially lacked: demographic dominance. Turkic peoples remained the ethnic majority in Anatolia, and Turkish stayed the vernacular of the masses even as elites used Persianized Ottoman Turkish. The transformation came with 20th century nationalism. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk's reforms from 1923 to 1938 radically reshaped Turkish. In 1928, he mandated replacing Arabic script with Latin alphabet. The Turkish Language Institute systematically purged Arabic and Persian loanwords, creating neologisms from Turkic roots. Turkish survived through demographic strength first, assertive nationalism later. Persian survived through administrative prestige and geographic protection. Same outcome, different mechanisms. The Persian story teaches profound lessons about language, power, and cultural survival. First, geography matters. Physical terrain can be as decisive as military strength. The Iranian Plateau's mountains protected Persian as powerfully as any army. Second, administrative indispensability trumps military defeat. Skills and expertise create space for cultural survival, even under foreign rule. Third, cultural production is critical. Accessible, prestigious literature in the vernacular language provides rallying points that administrative or religious texts alone cannot. Fourth, prestige reversal is possible but rare. Under the right conditions, a conquered language can become cosmopolitan, yet the story carries complications. Persian nationalism, particularly under the Pahlavis, succeeded by suppressing Iran's linguistic diversity. Kurdish, Azeri, Baluchi, and other languages were marginalized. The very success of Persian preservation created new challenges for minority rights. Today, Persian remains central to Iranian identity, connecting Iran, Afghanistan, where Dari is spoken, and Tajikistan, where Tajik links to Persian roots. The language that survived conquest now bridges nations and cultures. What makes Persian's story extraordinary isn't just that it survived, it's that survival came through adaptation, not isolation. Persians absorbed Arabic script, served Muslim rulers, yet kept their linguistic soul intact. This proves something profound. Cultural extinction isn't inevitable after political defeat. The right combination of geography, administrative value, and literary genius can preserve identity across centuries of foreign rule. If you want to explore more stories of linguistic survival and extinction, subscribe and let me know in the comments which case intrigues you most.